So what we've done is, in terms of the content for this curriculum, we've taken groups of subjects and grouped them together so that we can look into those subjects, because the traditional subjects give us very necessary insights, but also connect them across subjects. So that's one of our clusters, it's systems of problem solving and prediction, and in that we've designed the math curriculum and the science curriculum. Thank you for the help with the volume. It's not that I don't understand technology, it's just that I can't kneel down anymore. I hate fiddling with technology in front of people. So, in summary, then we'll have questions. A global collaborative, finally, after all my time in education, finally addressing the need for one common curriculum below the IB diploma, focusing on three kinds of learning in very intense ways: the development of conceptual understanding, the development of competencies, and the development of character, through powerful learning modules drawn from the sort of broad human knowledge base, commonly assessed so that students can travel around the world together, using technology for very interesting platforms for curriculum design and global collaboration. We're now working on, for example, a digital portfolio in which the students do their goal settings, where evidence is gathered of progress against those goals, where feedback is given by teachers into the portfolio, and then that is shared with parents. Because to let you in on some of the trade secrets of international education, I was at a conference giving a workshop not long ago, and we started by asking what forms of external assessment schools we're using. We put those on a chart. Then I said, just for my personal information, with all the external assessment we use, how many of you feel that when you receive a new student, they come with data about learning that enable you to place them effectively and efficiently in your program? On how many hands went up? Same as now. None. We've been around in international education for about 80 years. If I were a parent, I would assume that the big advantage of joining an international school was transferability from school to school. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you. That is not always the case. But we are now addressing that. And honestly, we chase, Marta led the admissions team for a long time, we chase harassed parents who've just arrived in Brussels for 4 years' worth of report cards, which are probably sitting in a container somewhere. And honestly, a lot of those data are not very useful to us, because, you know, somewhere in a school in Nigeria or wherever, some teacher wrote something about a kid that may have no relevance to what they're going to learn with us. What we need to know when a kid joins us is really basic stuff. We need to know their level of reading, we need to know their level of mathematical reasoning, we need to know if they have any learning disabilities, and we need to know their attitude to work. So I'm now working with a group on an international certificate of transfer, which tells us those things. If I know how well the kids can read and write, and where their maths is, if they are, you know, resilient or not, and if they have any special needs, then I can place them. I don't need, you know, 4 years worth of report cards from 3 semesters from 100 different teachers. But we are only really getting our act together in smart, business-like ways in international education these days, because frankly people like myself are tired of not offering a good enough service to parents. So we were initially joined, interestingly, not by schools that have no curriculum, but by the best schools in the world who shared that view. So Manila and Bangkok and UWC Singapore and Brussels and Zurich and United Nations International School New York. I'll be there in a couple of weeks' time working with 300 teachers in Manhattan who've joined the same group. So it's a global movement to give you guys a better, more consistent, more rigorous, standards-based curriculum so you can transfer around the world, written by the best writers we could find from the best universities, but essentially delivered simply so that teachers are not spending half their time trying to work out a curriculum model instead of planning their teaching. And most of the curriculum written for teachers, but not necessarily by teachers, because teachers are very, very hardworking. Teaching is a very, very tiring occupation. I know because I'm still recovering from Friday making dragons about 3 weeks ago. But kindergarten, oh by the way, if anyone tells you different, I'll just share another prejudice. Working in high schools is extremely challenging. Working with 3-year-olds is a different level of challenge altogether. You can, I was initially trained in elementary education and then other things as well, but for me to go and run the high school, which I did recently, was a breeze. For a high school teacher to go and teach kindergarten is a nightmare. So just please do respect the teachers of very young children because they do an amazing job. I don't know how they do it. You know, when you're knee high and you have the attention span of a gnat, it's extremely hard. It is extremely hard to keep kids engaged in learning. These kids are having a terrific education, and you can see them happy and engaged all the way through the school. So, building on everything that's happened here already, no sudden hiatus, no sudden what happened to that. We look at what you have already and what was in place in the school already is terrific. What we're mainly doing is rationalising it so that it can be shared with other schools, because if we're all doing things differently, however good they are, it's very difficult to transfer things. Learning in real context, building on success, concepts, competencies, and character, and giving the kids what they need to be successful and happy and ethical. So deep content knowledge, we choose the content very carefully, it's very rigorously taught. Teaching kids how to work in teams, because that's how companies succeed these days. You've got putting different brains together from different fields of expertise, you know, the designer with the marketer, etc. Creativity. I don't know if anyone's read Daniel Pink's A Whole New Mind, but he says all the big jobs these days are going to rely on the most creative thinkers. He talks about, in general, the power of design. You know, why do people prefer a Mac to a PC? Why do they buy an iPhone and not a BlackBerry, or whatever they buy? A lot of the time, it really is design that makes those choices for us. Building connections across subjects, building connections across countries, being confident. One of the great things about international schools is they produce confident kids. We sometimes take kids from our own national system, especially those with learning disabilities, who are, honestly, without being too melodramatic, they're kind of broken kids. They're quite broken by the way they've been treated. And we turn them into confident, self-advocating, successful young men and women. And to me, that transformative work is incredibly important. Everybody knows, you all know, when you put yourself in a new situation, a new job, to stand up and make a speech, even just go out socially and meet new people. If you're a person who just has no self-confidence, life is very, very difficult. So we do work deliberately to build confidence. And then a main thing for you guys and your kids, because who knows what they'll work, is the ability to adapt to new contexts. The ability to walk into a room in a new country, in a new job, in a new language, and actually adapt to it quickly. We find kids coming to us, we get about 300 new kids a year. Honestly, they're settled in a couple of days. After that, we do stuff about that. We give them bodies, we have lots of events for new families, but our kids like ours and yours, must be able to move around the world and fit in quickly and be productive quickly. And of course, there's no better setting than working with people from around the world in a learning environment where they're not just sitting in rows being drilled, but they're actually being required to think and work in teams and adapt to new situations, being taken out of the school. I think most of the kids are out of the school this week. They're doing different things. Real-world learning and not just classroom learning. So those are some of the priorities. And